Okay, this is a subject that might interested you if you were studying astrology and you want to study the signs. Sometimes we read things like Gemini is the young air sign, or Sagittarius is the old fire, or I don't know, Leo or Virgo are the adult fire, or adult earth. And sometimes we might be confused. Why? What is happening here? Well, the zodiac is um, associated with lots of things. One of those things are one of those things is the development of the human being, of our life. It starts symbolically in Aries and it ends in Pisces. So if we divide the zodiac into three chunks, into three equal parts, the first part is the childhood, the infancy. The second part is the adulthood. And the third part is old age. So Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer would be childhood. Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio would be adulthood. And Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces would be old age. And each of these signs in each of this division is from one of the four elements, the four triplicities. The fire triplicity, Aries, Sagittarius, and Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The air triplicity, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. The water triplicity, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. The earth triplicity, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So the first four signs, Aries, Taurus, Gemini and Cancer, are the young fire, young earth, young air, and young water. And then we move into adult fire, adult earth, adult air, adult water, and then to old fire, old earth, old air, old water. And this is simple enough. It's a combination of the greatest cycle, the zodiac, and the four smaller cycles. The cycle of the elements, the cycle of earth, Aries, the cycle of fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But if you look at each of these triplicities, it might be confusing why the cardinal fire is young fire sometimes, and why the cardinal is young sometimes, as in fire and water, but it's not in earth or in air. Why is it that? Why is the cardinal fire and the cardinal water young, but the cardinal air is adult and the cardinal earth is old age? It's old. Because cardinal is the mode of beginnings. Remember, cardinal, fixed, mutable. That in each of the seasons, they mean start, middle, and finish. The beginning, the middle, and the end. The onset of the season, the development of the possibilities of the season, and the transition into another season. But we have cardinal as the end of the Earth cycle, and cardinal as the middle of the air cycle. Why is it? Well, because the elements, they are born in us in different stages. Fire and water is easier to understand because fire is the element of action and water is the element of passion, of desire. And they begin as we begin. To become alive, to be born, is to start acting and feeling, desiring things and doing things. These are things that are born with us at the same time. And it's the beginning of the action. And then we move on to fixed desires and fixed actions. That's what adult life is about. To do fixed action, to do work, to fix desires, to change by action and what the world looks like because of what you want, because of desire. It's not a coincidence that Scorpio is related to sexual desire and Leo is related to dominance. These two kinds of action and passion are more related to adulthood than to old age and childhood. And the last step of each cycle, which reveals the meaning of the entire cycle, it's the mutable fire, which reveals the truth, the transition, the end of fire. It's the fire going away and leaving the ashes of earth and rising up towards in the direction of the truth. And water is the water that transcends and evaporates to inspire. Pisces, the mutable water of Pisces is inspiration, while the mutable fire sign is the truth. The truth is what remains after action. Inspiration is what remains after desires. But that's not how air rises, how air begins in this. Why is that Gemini, the mutable air sign, is young air? Because we do not grow air in us. Air is the element of thought, of mind, of thinking. Air begins within us by receiving information, receiving air. We learn to think and to talk by hearing our parents and relatives thinking. Talking, I'm sorry. We don't actually hear them thinking. We listen to people. That's how air enters us for the first time. That's how we learn to speak. We don't invent languages. And then we start communicating with others, having dialogues. So, Libra, the cardinal air, the beginning of dialogue, of mutual conversation. Libra is the sign associated with diplomacy. And at last, when this process is strong enough and durable enough, we have a plan. We have a mental scheme or a mental notion or a mental organization of the world. That's the fixed air of Aquarius, the sign of the planning, the sign of the maestro, of the schemer. That's how air works in us. We receive from other. We start after some time. We start trading ideas, and in the end, we have something usually to give, to expand to others. We don't start by trading what we don't have, and we certainly do not start by abundance of air, but we do on earth. How is it that how is our experience of earth when we are born? It's funny because all the other elements in other times of our life can be thought of as abundant, but none of them is abundant when we are born. And the earth, the element that is more associated with difficulties and with scarcity, is the only one that we experience as abundant when we are born. Young children experience the world as a giant garden, as fixed earth, as matter that never ends. The world is too large. Our parents are too big. We eat and drink as much as we want. Everything lasts forever, and it's giant and vast and unending. Our desires are not unending. Our action is limited. We have almost no air, but earth is limitless. It's a very big and very stable garden. But we grow up and we realize it is very limited, and we have to organize it to classify from earth what we are going to use, what we are going to invest, what we're going to consume, what we're going to sell, what we're going to give away. This is Virgo. This is the mutable earth, the classifying and organizing earth and giving destination to earth. Because the experience in Taurus, when we are children, that earth is unlimited. It's not the same experience when it's not the same experience we have when we are adults. This is Virgo earth. This is definitely not unending. There's limits and the need for classification all the time. And then we get old and die. And earth is born to someone else or something else. That's Capricorn. The sign related to death, to bearings, to rebirth, to planting seeds. And if we did the right effort, and if we are lucky, and if God permitted, that's the time you plant seeds for the next generation. You plant things for other people who will eat the fruits of those trees in their Taurus season, because your Taurus season has already passed. So this is what I wanted to tell you about the ages of man and the elements and the signs. I hope you find it interesting.